This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
And good evening to everyone tuning into Valley Grown. Now, I have a question for all of you. Have you ever met someone that impacted your life so strongly that they helped you grow into the person that you are today? Like the sun and water, did they help nourish you and grow with their wisdom and their words? Those people inspire us and push us to keep on growing in so many ways. Tonight on Valley Grown, along with our esteemed panelists and co-hosts, we will discuss how mentors use their influence of communication to uplift us and how they have made a long-lasting impact on others. And as usual, as always, I'm not alone. Tonight we have our co-hosts and Vine Chat engagers, Melanie and Jill. Say hello, y'all.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Thank you again for tuning in. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for all those you love. Thank you again.
Yes, thank you, Jill and Melanie. And of course, we have our guests, our very first guests of this season of Valley Grown. First, we have Bill. If you would unmute and introduce yourself, Bill.
Hello, everyone. I'm Bill Dorsey from the locale of Delano, the head deacon here. Welcome to our show this evening.
All righty. Thank you, Bill. And we also have Melissa. Go ahead and say hi.
Hello. Good evening. Good morning. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Melissa Benedicto. I'm from the local congregation of Limu. And I am, by trade, a teacher.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you so much, Melissa. Now that we have all introduced ourselves, let's jump right into it. So our show is all about communication, right? So communication is essentially the seed or the foundation of any strong relationship. So like with teachers and students or mentors and mentees, I would like to ask Bill and Melissa, anyone can answer, how do you communicate as a leader?
Okay.
Melissa or Bill, it could be any one of you.
Okay.
It's going to be Bill, yes.
Always, gentlemen, let the ladies go first. Go, Melissa.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Kabil. See, what a gentleman. So as you know, by trade, I'm a teacher. And so, I mean, that's my whole career is to mentor the youth and the young generation in the classroom, right? So sorry, what was the question?
Oh, how do you communicate as a leader?
How do I communicate as a leader? So you just have to be genuine. You know, it doesn't matter how old they are. They know when you're fake, right? Like they know when what you say doesn't mean, like you don't mean what you say. So just when you have conversations, especially when they're like deep conversations or conversations that have to be, like very important, you just need to be genuine in everything that you say.
Absolutely. Like as a teacher, you always tell your students, like, be honest, be fair with them. It's only right that you, as a teacher, as a professional, that you are also honest and genuine with them. Like as the kids would say, you got to keep it 100. You know what? You know what I mean?
Yes. That's fire.
Yes, that's fire. Yes, absolutely. So, Bill, what about you? How do you communicate with them as a leader?
Okay, as a retired military, I was in the Navy for 20 years. So the way I would communicate with those troops under my care, it depends on the situation. It could be one-on-one with one person. I would sit them down and talk to them and make sure that they understand the instructions that they're about to receive, and make sure that they would be able to ask questions, give them the freedom to ask questions, and we can communicate so that we fully understand what the objective is. And also you can also do that with a group of people at the same time. Just
Mhm.
make sure everyone understands exactly what you're going to do, and also ask their help or their suggestions so that we're on the same page and make them feel comfortable, because if they feel that they're a part of it, then it's more successful to succeed.
I like how you mentioned the comfortability aspect. Is that a word? Comfortability, comfortableness. Melissa, is that a word?
You know, since you said it, it is a word. It
Yes.
is. Yeah.
But yes, Bill, I like how you mentioned like how comfortable someone is, like your mentees or your students, they're gonna see like if they're gonna feel if you're making them uncomfortable or comfortable, and having open communication with them, leading with love instead of leading with kind of like an ego, if that makes any sense, is so important when you're communicating with a mentee. So thank you so much for sharing, Bill. That was a wonderful response. So as a
Sorry,
teacher,
Galen, I'd like to also add
yes, of
to
course.
that what Bill mentioned. We talk a lot about classroom environment,
Mhm.
right? You can't reach kids academically. You can't reach them with any of that until your classroom environment is established and they're comfortable and they trust you and they want to learn from you, right?
Mhm.
So that respect is there already. So you have
Mhm.
you have to have that in
Mhm.
order for any instruction to
Mhm.
be heard and done. So I agree, Bill.
Yeah, so it doesn't just apply to, adults, Navy troops, but it also applies to students, the young ones. It applies to anybody who has a relationship with one another, if that makes any sense. So yes, thank you so much for thank you so much for sharing that, Bill and Melissa. So like what we kind of mentioned with the comfortable aspect of things, trust, it doesn't happen right away. Trust is something that is built, like how you both mentioned. So I know we kind of went over it, but do you guys have any specific strategies to establish trust when you communicate with students or your mentees?
I'll go first because Bill won't speak unless I go first.
Ladies
I know
first.
how he rolls. Um, yeah, I mean, that's like your basis for a relationship is the trust. So there are times when I will ask my student point out, do you trust me?
Mm-hmm.
Do you trust that I will get A, B, and C done for you?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to reciprocate, bud. I got to be able to trust you as well. So
Mm-hmm.
uh, it it's huge. It's like you said, it's the 100%.
Yes.
It's what needs to get done before so that a relationship can be established.
Mm-hmm. I know that's right. I like how just like clear cut that was, just very straightforward, just asking like, do you trust me because I trust you? I really like that. I know that some people have like different strategies to build that relationship, but I just like how straightforward that is. Do you trust me? I love that. Bill, what about you?
Well, trust, I feel that trust comes in when you have a very perfect communication with the person or the group or whoever you're with, and getting to know them, find out their habits, find out what they like, what their dislikes, but
Mm-hmm.
also share to them what you like and what you dislike, and
Mm-hmm.
do things with them and explain things and get to really know them really deep down and become really close. Because when you become close, the communication is clear, and then you can trust each other to get everything done.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing, Bill and Melissa. And as a teacher and as a retired U.S. Navy, first of all, thank you for your service, Bill, and Melissa. Thank you for teaching our newest generations, our future. Every path has a story to it. So if you guys don't mind sharing, story time. What motivated you to pursue this career as U.S. Navy, as a teacher? So what gave you that push to pursue it? Bill or Melissa, anyone can start.
So when I was a CWS teacher when I wasn't married yet. If anyone doesn't know what that means, I taught during the children's worship service. That's how I started working with children. And then during my younger days, I also volunteered in my mom's special ed classroom. And yeah, I loved it. You know, she worked in a full year-round classroom, and I would volunteer during my summer months when I was off.
Mhm.
And I mean, I connected with the kids. It was fun. Like I just thought, oh, I could do this and see myself in this career.
Mhm.
So here we are.
Absolutely. I love how like your motivation to pursue this career was first based like simply like on your faith, teaching the kids during the worship services. And that's beautiful. And being there with your mom in person, actually having not the one-on-one, but being there in person, being in that classroom environment even before you transition to your professional career, and then having that spark ignite from seeing those students and seeing your mom as a teacher. That's absolutely wonderful. Thank you for sharing, Melissa. Bill, how about you? What motivated you to pursue your career?
Well, it's just like a lot of young kids. If your dad's a fireman, then like the child will become a fireman most likely, or would want to, or a
Mhm,
police officer. Well, in my case, it was my dad's brother, my uncle. He
mhm,
was in the Navy and he would come home for leave and he would stay with us. And I
mhm.
would see his uniforms hanging in the closet. And I pulled it out and I looked at it and I brought it over to him and I said, Uncle Jimmy, I'm going to get me one of these. And
Yes.
that's exactly the plan I had ever since I was 9 or 10, that I was
Mhm.
going to become a sailor. I'm going to get one of those uniforms. And I did.
I
And
love
actually, we were together in San Diego, not stationed together, but we were there on this, we were there on two different bases and I actually lived with them. So we
Whoa.
shared some time together in the Navy. So that was,
That's amazing.
yes,
I love that. Like both of you, Melissa and Bill, you both worked with your family to help you pursue this career. And would you guys say that those were the people who are very influential in your life to push for that career or to attain that goal, would you say?
yes, most
Yeah,
definitely.
I love that. I love how you were like, this uniform looks good on you. It's gonna look good on me. Yes, and then you would also feel you were also inspired by him and working together alongside him. That's absolutely amazing. And then Melissa working alongside your mom. I love it. I love seeing the inspiration that you guys get from your family. Um, so thank you, Bill and Melissa, for sharing your stories. And at this time, we would love to hear what the Vine chat has to say. If we could go ahead and play our bumper. So
Yes,
yes, we got some buzz from the branches. Jill, what's going on in the Vine
yes.
chats?
Hello, everybody. Oh, it is flooding tonight. I'm loving all of these messages. Thank you so much again, everybody for tuning in. So we do have our Priscilla Baton. We have Danny Aglipay. Thank you for tuning in. We also have our very own Carol David. Hello, CVC. I love how we are all here for each other. Yes. Alex M from viewing from Delano. We have our very own Julia. Julia, thank you so much for tuning in. Just as much as you love, we love having you on the show. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. We have Helen Galapon from Delano. Lots of people from Delano. Yes, I love it. So so much support to Bill here. We have Imbong Lehman. Greetings from Caitlin's family in the Philippines. Thank you everybody for tuning in from the Philippines. We have a new subscriber, Ian. Thank you so much, Ian, for tuning in. Love it. Love all these new name and faces. We have our very own Lawrence Dorsey. Kat Terry, of course, thank you so much for tuning in. Can't wait for this episode. Yes, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Amel Ellison, thank you. We also have Ramel Bautista from Bakersfield. I know he is a avid viewer as well. And he says, Brother Bill is my mentor. Yes, Brother Bill is all of our mentors. I love it. And we have, of course, our Car Rudolph, Carwell, always with these dad jokes. Yes, love it. Keep them coming. Also, we have Mario Oka. as always, thank you for tuning in from the Philippines, District of Caloocan North. And we also have Gary Kubuta from Fresno. And we also have Nelly Aglipay from Arosi. Thank you so much for tuning in. Angelina Costello from Delano as well. You guys are all so amazing. I love it. Thank you so much for tuning in. And Amel Ellison, we need more teachers like you. Yes, yes, Melissa, you are an amazing teacher. If you were my mentor, I would trust you 100. 100. All right. And we have Johnny Castañaga. Thank you for the locale of Santa Maria. Let's go. And awesome. So we have Ian again. Thank you, Jill, repping from Redondo Beach. Thank you so much for tuning in. So thank you, everybody, for those Vine chats. Keep pouring it in there and passing it over back to you, Caitlin. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Jill, for shouting everybody out in our chat. Keep them coming, keep interacting with us, and keep up the enthusiasm. Thank you so much. So, as we mentioned earlier, there are people who leave such an impact on our lives and are influential to who we are now. So besides, like for example, like your mom, Melissa, or Bill, your uncle, did anyone else influence your choice of who to become, and how did their voices impact you? Melissa or Bill, any of you can start.
I'll start. As I mentioned earlier, I was a CWS teacher, a teacher in the children's worship service, and worked with a lot of the children in our local congregation. Back then, for me, it was Fresno, and it was really impactful because we would have sessions with the minister to go over the lessons, and not only was it, did it help me in my faith because I learned a lot about Bible history, and the impact on the brethren back then and now, but also being able to teach that, right? Teach
Absolutely.
that to the little children so that they can also increase in their faith as starting from as little as 4 years old. So
Mhm. Absolutely. Like just being uplifted spiritually through your faith, and it increased your love to continue being a CWS teacher and a teacher professionally.
and it
Absolutely.
was, I'm sorry, to answer that question, it was the ministers who we had these
Yes.
CWS classes with that would
Mhm.
teach us the Bible history and
Mhm.
to help us out. So
Yes, of course, ministers always and forever will inspire us. Thank you so much for sharing, Melissa. How about you, Bill? Besides your uncle, did anyone else in your life influence your choice of who to become, and how did they impact you?
Well, just like Melissa, she stole my thunder. Um, Ministers, because as a head deacon, the ministers, they rotate and you get to, be with a lot of different ministers, and you learn from them because they learn from the church administration,
Mhm.
and they teach us how to lead the brethren by example. You could go and talk to them and see and gain a lot of knowledge from them in the performance of your duties.
Mhm.
So it's with the church administration that sends the ministers to all the locales. But if you are really close to them and work with them, they can teach you a lot on how to deal with the brethren, how to deal with yourself, and everything is spiritually, and how
Mhm.
to love God in your duty even more. So it's the
Absolutely.
ministers in the Church of Christ.
Yes. Yes, of course. And they themselves are mentors. They're teaching the brethren, like you said, Bill, how to lead with love, how to lead with compassion. And I would also like to ask my co-hosts on here, caught off guard and everything. Let's ask Melanie first. Did anyone influence your choice of who to become, and how did they impact you? Anyone in your life, really?
I think that all of us, if we really think about it, we are molded from the people who touch our lives. So
Mhm.
that's why first, our parents, kind of like what Sister Melissa mentioned, her mom, and also Brother Bill, with regards to joining the military, it's somebody always that's close to us at first. So even
Mhm.
for me, it started with my parents, seeing how they been so close to us, watching them grow. Like my mom is a nurse, so I'm also a nurse. I wanted to be a doctor first, but then, I found definitely a fulfillment in my nursing career. So not just in our careers, but also I think how we portray our lives. And I just love how Sister Melissa, being a CWS teacher before becoming a teacher, I just love that, you know, where our Christian faith, our upbringing, what we did before allowed us to be a positive value to the community. So thank you, Sister Melissa. I just love that you have the patience, especially with the children these days. And then Brother Bill or Bill, thank you also for your service. We really appreciate that. And even those who are military that are in tune or tuning with us today, thank you so much for your service. And I really appreciate too what Bill mentioned about how perfecting communication. He mentioned about going deep into the roots of those that he was mentoring. So
Mhm.
I love the fact that he was definitely reaching out to them and not just pushing how to be a leader based on his standards, but more on how he can actually grow them based on how they would like to be taught. So I really love that.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you, Melanie. Thank you for sharing like who's influential to you. Thank you for make for positively talking about Bill and Melissa. We always enjoy and love having guests on our show, of course. Jill, do you have anyone that influenced your life and how did they impact you?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say there are so many different mentors for different aspects of my life. Of course, my parents, but also when it comes to mentors with work, being within my field. I know a lot of people probably won't understand the field that I'm in, especially in technology. But just seeing the different growing paths that I want to take when it comes to different mentors, seeing the lives that how they portray their lives and how they carry themselves as characters, also having spiritual mentors, those that are in the church, and Melissa as well, same with I remember being so young in CWS and definitely looking up to all the CWS teachers, so having them as mentors. So just having different aspects or different mentors for different aspects of my life, I feel like is very important. And I big respect and kudos to everybody that has helped me along the way as well. So yeah, that's, I would say, all the mentors that I've had in the past and continue to have in the future.
Yes, thank you so much, Jill. It's that support system that is so important. You don't forget those who have supported you, communicated you, and how they communicated with you and how they influenced your life. Thank you so much, Jill. And I would also like to read one of the comments in our Vine chat from Roberto Vasquez. And he says, Melissa was my teacher when I was in 6th to 8th grade. Is that the truth?
Yes. Yes. He was
Yes.
he was a troublemaker. Just kidding, Brian. Didn't
With
mean to
love.
call him out, but it's true. He has come to lots of activities at church now that he's an adult. But when I was younger, I was younger, but when he was younger, I did. I gave him instruction. I was the teacher in the classroom, but not only that, I would like to say I helped him become a positive role model as an adult too. He's a really good kid. You
Awesome.
heard me
Thank you
say
so
that.
much.
And now it's on air, right?
Now it's on air. You're Roberto, shout out to you, man. You heard it from Melissa. You're hearing it from me. Shout out to you. And then I would also like to acknowledge, I know I've been acknowledging him. Bill, when I was growing up, you were definitely one of my mentors. I grew up in Delano, and so I would see Bill every weekend, every activity we would have, and I would look at him as like a 4 or 5, 6-year-old and be like, Wow, Brother Bill is so cool. I wish I could lead like that. That probably wasn't verbatim what I said, but I looked up to him, and I just want to say thank you, Bill, for just being a really great leader and for being an amazing mentor, even up until now. Thank you so much, Bill. And we all appreciate you here on INC Radio.
I appreciate you guys also.
And I would like to also share, Melissa, we grew up together when we moved here.
Oh,
Back then, not gonna mention long ago, but I just love your excitement for every activity. You give it your all. You motivate us to be so excited every single time when you cheer, even though it may be like, okay, I'm
Exhausting.
gonna say it. No, it's not exhausting, kind of dorky.
but in a good way, out of
Yes.
love, right?
Yes. I embrace it.
Way.
Yes.
You
Yes.
just put it out there. And so I just love seeing you every single time whenever we have events, whenever we have activities. You still have that excitement, that lively, I just love it. So keep it up. Just want to say.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes, thank you to our guests. I can't say it enough. Shout out to our guests. They're so willing to be on here on a screen and speak their truth, speak from the heart. And so, yes, thank you so much. So, kind of like what Melanie was saying earlier, future generations benefit from the lessons or the stories that we leave behind or share, like what we hear from our teachers or parents. So, Bill and Melissa, what are some key lessons that our generation now and future generations should know? Bill
So
and Melissa, yes.
I'll start because
Yes.
Bill will make me start. Well, first and foremost, I mean, I just have to say, trust in what our Almighty God can do. Prayer is very important. And Roberto, aka Brian, who was in the comments, now I can sit down with him and say prayer is important. Trust in our Almighty God, and he sees that now.
Absolutely.
So like just use what how you live your own life and portray that and share that with as many people as we can. So yeah.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing, Melissa. Let your light shine, and the power of prayer is definitely important. Bill, what about you? What are some key lessons that our generation now and future generations, what should they know?
What they should know, and what I feel they should know, is that especially we do a lot of missionary work and we do propagation, like we have our EVM tomorrow. And the younger generation, especially those and members of the church, need to understand why we do certain activities. Because if they understand, it will help them to grow even stronger, not in this world, but in the church, which really is important, especially us as parents. That's what we want our children to do. We want them to hold on firmly to the teachings that we receive, and we not want to pass it down to them what we have learned as members of the church. And that's what I did my best to pass down to my kids. And my youngest is a minister in Africa, so I guess it worked.
That's the influential power that you have. Yes, but Bill, thank you so much for sharing, and Melissa for sharing such important lessons that generations should know. Lead with faith, lead with love, absolutely. And I agree with both of your answers. So for our last question, to wrap it all up, so communication, being a mentor, legacy, it's about remembrance. So I want to say 1 or 2 sentences or more if you want. How do you want to be remembered, Melissa or Bill?
Yeah, my legacy is my faith, is my membership inside the Church of Christ. So if there's anything I can leave behind when I leave this earth for my own babies and for the babies that I have taught throughout these years, is that I had full faith and trust in our Almighty God.
Absolutely. Thank you, Melissa. Bill, how do you want to be remembered?
Be remembered as an officer in the Church of Christ.
Yes.
And that's a strong thing because you want everyone to remember how you performed your duty, how you did your duty, how you loved your duty. And hopefully, even though I'm gone, that will be emulated by those who I've touched in the church.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Bill and Melissa. Like I said earlier, leading with love, leading with compassion, and all the more leading with faith. So that does it for our show. You know, we would talk more and more, but you would just have to tune in, wink, wink, next week at 9 p.m. on Friday. So tonight we've seen how powerful different voices can be, whether they're teachers, mentors, their influence nourishes us. It helps us grow into who we are meant to be. We're reminded that communication is more than just words. It's encouragement, it's legacy, and it's guidance. Again, we cannot say it enough. Thank you, Melissa and Bill, for your impact on your communities and on other people's lives. Thank you, Jill and Melanie, for sharing your stories and for being amazing co-hosts. And of course, thank you to everyone who continuously supports Valley Grown and tunes in every Friday night at 9 p.m. And above all, we give our utmost thanks to our spiritual leaders, Brother Wally Tarai, our INC radio station manager, Brother Angelo Iranio V. Manalo, our deputy executive minister, and our executive minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. Thank you all for tuning in, and catch us again next week, Friday night, 9 p.m. PST. We will see you next time on Valley Ground, presented by INC Radio, Central Valley, California. Thank you. And again, we can't say it enough. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you so much. Yes, again.
Everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good night.
Right.
Hit that like and subscribe button.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
I feel like it should be a song. Thank you. Or a chant.
Yes, thank you.
Let's share this. Thank you. Thank you.